This course is brought to you by AppyPie as part of our Academy series.
In this video, we're going to be talking about finding your big idea. Now, this part of copywriting is more art than science. So instead of explaining things to you and talking about theory and ideas, I think it's much more effective if I show you real world examples and we talk through their big idea. So what the big idea is it's the one thing that you want to communicate to your reader through your copy, through your messaging. So I mentioned this in the first video inside of this module, but if you think back to some of the best books that you've ever read and the ones that have stuck with you and made a real positive difference in your life, odds are that there was one, maybe two big ideas that have stayed with you. And usually those books have one big idea and then everything in that book is about that big idea or convincing you why you should integrate that big idea into your life. If you watch TED videos or TED Talks, you'll notice this as well. These are talks that are revolved around a big idea. And the reason why I believe TED Talks have become so popular and famous is because they're the most efficient way to share a big idea. But it's only the people that have a big idea worth sharing that actually get the opportunity to give a TED Talk. So all of this is to say that finding a big idea is powerful. And if you take the time to think through your big idea before you start writing copy, it's going to pay you so many dividends as far as how effective your copy is and even how easy it is to write. So it's the big idea that is the foundation to the copy that you write. So here's an example of a book on the Kindle store where I like this big idea where it's everybody writes. Everyone can be a writer. And then it says your go-to guide to creating ridiculously good content. But I can already tell without reading this book that that's the main idea that the author wants to get across. So many of us think that we either are gifted at writing or have the potential to be a good writer or we don't. And this message here is pretty bold. It's saying that everybody has the ability to write. And that in itself is a really powerful idea. And that makes me interested in reading the book, and maybe it makes you interested as well before you've even gotten into it. And you could say that, oh, this is a great headline. They followed the formulas for writing great headlines. There's a lot of psychology in the headline. And some of that may be true, but it's based on a really, really solid foundation, which is it's an awesome big idea. So here's another YouTube video. Does life feel too short? Get off your ass. This is the thumbnail to a YouTube video. And if you've ever been on YouTube, you know that all of these thumbnails and titles are competing for your attention. When you go to the YouTube homepage, there's immediately 30 videos that you can click on. So it's through this copy that they're either going to grab you or not, which means the success of a video on YouTube is largely dependent on the headline and the image. And in this case, they're trying to communicate their big idea. So if you're interested in that idea, you're going to click on their video. So the idea here is very clear. Do you feel like life feels too short? And if you do feel like it's too short, then the solution is to get off your ass. Now that's a whole idea in itself. It's complete. You can click on the video if you're really interested in this idea and you want to learn more about it or hear someone's perspective on it, but you immediately get it just by reading that short title. That's a big idea. And I actually haven't even watched this video myself. I was just pulling examples, but I would strongly guess that if you were to click on this video, whatever it is that the person is talking about, they're going to keep reinforcing that main big idea. That if life feels too short, the solution is to get off your ass. So next up is this woman that I've seen a lot of her stuff online, and I think it's another great big idea. She's Melissa. And the idea is she helps heart-centered high achievers grow their income and impact online. So the big idea is if you're a heart-centered high achiever, then you can grow your income and your impact. Now, I would say that this is a little less, I'm trying to think of the right word. It's not clear, but it's less just immediately out there. Like, it has more of it implied in it. It's implied that if you're a high achiever, you can both grow your income and your impact in the world at the same time. Now, personally, as someone that wants to help a lot of people and grow my income at the same time, this is a very attractive big idea. And that's why I was drawn to this. This immediately makes me want to sign up for her list because I'm on board with her big idea. So ask yourself, with whatever target market that you're writing for or you're thinking about, are some big ideas already percolating in your mind? Are some big ideas starting to come for you? And if you ever feel inspired and a new big idea comes, whether you're in the shower, watching this video, or going on a walk, write it down. Make a note of it. Because these big ideas are so powerful. They can be so simple, but yet they make our copy way more effective. And if someone from your target audience resonates with your big idea, they're much more likely to become your #1 raving fan. So now let's take a look at some examples where there is no big idea. This is a course that I found on Udemy where it's Intro to Abstract Painting #1 and #2. And then if we read the subtitle, it says, Find your creativity with easy to follow demos on how I create popular abstract paintings. Now, this isn't to say that this is bad copy, but I think it would be way more powerful if it had one clear big idea in the headline. So the headline is the main title of this course, which is Intro to Abstract Painting #1 and #2. Honestly, that means nothing to me. Even if I'm an abstract painter, unless I'm missing something with #1 and #2, and only the abstract painters would get that reference, there's no big idea here. And so this could grab a lot more of people that are interested and in that target market if the big idea was made clear in the headline, or even if there is a big idea. Now, you could say, based on the subheading, that the big idea is to find your creativity, but that doesn't feel like a powerful big idea. This could use some work. So next up is another example I found from a running blog on the internet. And it's 52 do's and don'ts of running an ultra marathon. Now, this post is probably doing pretty well based on the traction that I saw on the site. And also, these listicles tend to do pretty well. People are interested in numbered lists, like 52 things you do and you don't do of running an ultra marathon. So I'm not saying that this copy isn't good, but it could be even more effective if it had one big idea. What is the one big idea that this author is trying to communicate about running an ultra marathon through these 52 do's and don'ts? And it's that underlying common thread that can make your copy so powerful. And most copy has it. So I haven't personally gone through this entire article, but my guess is, and this is a strong guess, if you were to read through this article, there would be one underlying big idea that runners running an ultra marathon should know. And if they were able to identify that big idea and put it directly in the headline, they're going to get a lot more people interested in what they have to say. Now, this is a local hairstylist website that I saw close to where I live. I just did a Google search for hairstylists in the area. And this is an example of a local business and how they could grow their business using these principles. So you don't have to write a blog or teach online courses in order to take advantage of this idea of finding your big idea. So right here, their big idea is customized solutions for beautiful hair and glowing skin. Now, the way I see that is not the strongest big idea. They offer customized solutions, but what does that mean? What is the one main message that they want to get across to all their clients? Now, I'm sure if you were to go and either interview the owner or even just get your hair styled here and talk to the people that work there, you would immediately get a sense of what their vibe is, what the values of the company are, what their big ideas are for how one should keep their hair healthy and beautiful and glowing. And if you were to put that big idea into a single underlying thread, the single big idea that this person believes in or this company believes in, and put that on their website, on the homepage, that would make it way more effective. And then their target market is more likely to buy into their message and book an appointment and become their number one fan. So those are all the examples for you. Bear with me because I know, unlike some of the other videos inside of this course, this is all art. So this is my opinions on things, but it's opinions based on experience. And hopefully by now you realize how valuable it can be to find your big idea. It doesn't mean it's going to make or break your copy, but if you write copy with one single big idea in mind, it's going to make it way easier to write, and it's also going to make it more effective. So in this video, we looked at real-world examples to help you learn how to find your big idea.